Welcome back to the show here, IEM Season 10, live from Taipei. We've had a couple games already. Let's check out the brackets and see how things stand currently and what is to come in the next moments, as we should be having CyberZen, and they'll be playing against the Chiefs, interestingly. And the Chiefs just had a bit of a scrappy game.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good, though. It was a nice match out of them. Showed some good stuff. Yeah, it showed a little bit of like the roles of each player. Burn on the entry was very effective over at B bomb site. They did some cool stuff. For a pug, they did some, or not a pug, let's not call it a pug, but for a team with two stand-ins who, you know, they've been in the team for just a little over a month, basically. They did some cool stuff in terms of taking map control up at brackets, falling back, really manipulating the information that MVP was able to have based on what they were doing. So that was really, really good in-game leadership for a team that's been just so very new together.
Yeah, I think that's kind of goes back to what we talked about in the pregame as well. The fact that Lightstep has been around that team for, well, from the get-go. And being the in-game leader, kind of knowing what you want your team to do and everything like that, it does help quite a bit instead of being a new in-game leader just inserted into a lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be quite cool to see CyberZen now, because they have so far, from what we've seen, they've looked like the strongest team, and they should be up against technically the second strongest team today.
Do they? Do they, Dan?
You're trying to bard off me.
I mean, that was such a sketchy first match out of them, though.
It was a bit sketchy, but what we just saw was also quite sketchy in many ways.
Against a better opponent, though. I thought Chiefs looked better than CyberZen did in the first game. Just to throw that out there.
All right,
okay,
all right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tell me what you think, Dan.
Sure. Well, let's just jump into the bracket then and see how things have been developing here today on Group A. As you can see, we're at CyberZen versus the Chiefs currently, but these are the results we're talking about. So tell me a bit more about CyberZen Risky Gaming, Moses, for those who didn't see what you felt like was a sketchy match for CyberZen.
Yeah, it was, 12-3 at half. CyberZen was up, and then just the second half, their CT, their defense is, and that's the tough part. I mean, their defense is the one that looked very discombobulated.
Yeah, no,
good words.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just very uncoordinated in who was taking peaks and when, where the rotations were in relation to the aggression they were putting out in the defense. And that allowed Risky Gaming, who was a heavy underdog, to have a really solid second half, turn it into a little bit of a comeback in a sense, and it ended up being much closer than it should have been.
So what does CyberZen need to fix now going into this match? What can they easily just take from the last match they just played? And what are easy fixes for them?
Better communication on the defense, really.
No, that's the thing. Like, obviously, going to Inferno, I think it's easier to play CT side than it is on Cobble. I think Cobble is probably the hardest map to play CT side on in the current map pool. But still, that's the thing. Like, the communication, because the one thing that makes or breaks your CT side on Inferno is rotations. So you have to have that on point, and that was clearly an issue for CyberZen. But from what Blair said, that CyberZen is just regarded as the best CT side out of all the Asian teams. We clearly didn't see that. Yeah, we did not look like it at all during that Cobble game, but maybe Cobble is something that they're still working on. Might be a work in progress. Inferno is a map that should be a staple for pretty much any team that wants to compete.
Yeah, I think so too. The scary thing is with the way that their CT side went on Cobble, with those mistakes they were making, I mean, you're going to get punished so heavily on Inferno. If you're CT side, if you have a slip up like that in the wrong round and all of a sudden your economy gets reset, or you can't afford all the utility you need, much more punishing. You lose far too many rounds on your CT side Inferno. We just saw it happen to MVP. I mean, Chiefs were able to get up to 6 rounds, 11, 12 rounds into the half, and all of a sudden they had everything they needed, and they just kind of ran away with it on the CT. Not ran away with it, but they were able to just outlast it based off just having those 6 rounds. I mean, that 6th round is so hard to get, especially when you don't win a pistol round.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And one thing to talk about as well is, we have got the vetoes as well, so we do know it's going to be Inferno again in this best of 1. And the Chiefs, they just played a best of 1 on Inferno against MVP Carnal, and definitely there was a lot of shakiness there. So I can ask the same thing to you guys I asked to Moses about CyberZen in their previous match. What are some easy fixes, and what are some things they need to be able to do going into this Inferno match against CyberZen?
Well, Chiefs, they definitely need to get their anti-ecos under control, because we saw a lot of iffy stuff there. Not necessarily because they would lose a round, but simply because they would they would lose too much. So the costs of actually just holding or getting essentially what should be a free round was way too big for that entire game. And I think just been a general theme that the B bomb site here on Inferno hasn't been good to the teams we've seen. So I think that needs to shape up as well, because that's where MVP found a lot of their openings on their T sides. So that's something that Chiefs has to look into.
Yeah, to me, Chiefs is just going to need to. I mean, this is the thing. They're going to need to have another good, pretty decent terrace tap, I think, to give them, because their CT side didn't look the strongest thing in the world. They played well with it in stretches and obviously won out the rounds that they needed to. That switch into the double op setup was really nice. But what scared me about them letting it through is they just played it in front of this team was guaranteed in the crowd watching.
Oh. Do you think that could play against them as well? Like if you're CyberZen, do you really want to base a lot on that one game in terms of what you want to anti-strat?
I don't think you go into it and you commit to what you're going to do based off what you saw, but you certainly know the tendencies now.
Yeah.
Like, so when for instance, when Chiefs takes the middle brackets and everything's smoked off, if I'm CyberZen, I'm saying every time we think they have brackets, let's just get aggressive on lane or wrap side. Let's have two players just peek and try and clear it out, trade a kill, but get that information. Because that kind of play for Chiefs, you saw MVP, they were forced into a passive setup, and then they didn't know if Chiefs were still there or if they had fallen back. They peeked into it once or twice, but you need to have that intel so you can have those rotations that you need.
Absolutely. I'm actually also going to be interested to see, because we did see CyberZen struggle on a map where you can, just like Anders mentioned on Cobblestone, you can't really push aggressively to find information on Cobble, especially on the B-bomb side. It's more or less, you're more or less left to try to find any sort of info.
I don't know what Anders is talking about when he says that, though.
What, do you think you can push aggressively on B, on Cobble?
We've seen teams do it.
Yeah, but it sucks.
Let's
be honest, guys. It's terrible.
Let's be honest. Maybe any teams do it.
We've seen it have some good stuff. I mean, and also pushing into A-halls. I mean, being aggressive, you control those A-halls.
But A-halls is not on B. Which is the
B
point
is
here,
B,
where we're
can't
talking
really
about the
touch.
B-bomb side.
Yeah.
I'm just being distracted by Anders at the moment. It's not even fair.
All right. Well, we can move on a little bit from that, because when it comes to the match against FaZe, which is like the most recent international LAN result we had from CyberZen, they did it on Inferno and Cash. The map switch, they lost. They ended up losing, but they had great games there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, it was the CT side of CyberZen that really crushed their opponent's FaZe. And FaZe, of course, are going to have a more skill-oriented gameplay, and that's probably what we're seeing from the Chiefs here as well.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything to draw from that match?
I think just simple, or what we know, I think we just have to go with the theory of CyberZen being the FaZe in this situation. They're the team with the most individual skill.
If I'm CyberZen, I'm punishing Burn at B. With him being so isolated there, just going for an entry, and he was very successful against MVP, and that put MVP into a very tough spot on their defense a lot of times. And if CyberZen just says, okay, we're just not going to let him do that, let's just punish him for it.
I really wish Burn actually had, his name was like Bernie. Are you okay? Because then you kind of get the Michael Jackson thing in there. No.
All right,
I think you missed the trick there.
All right, calm down.
But yeah, that was what I wanted to touch upon. The fact that, he talked about tendencies of what CyberZen could pull out of that previous game that they probably watched. Is the fact that Burn actually goes quite alone as well. Like, he doesn't have a lot of help because he puts himself oftentimes under the pillars. So he's going to be quite isolated in terms of like what he's able to do there. Obviously, that's better for him, so he can potentially win that 1v1 duel. But if CyberZen are able to play aggressively, which they weren't allowed to on that B-bomb side on Cobble, then that could be a big difference for them if they're actually allowed to play more freely and roam around and try to gain information early on.
Talking about aggression as well, we saw great aggression from K's AWPing on the CT side for MVP, and that actually seemed to be a very big problem. Like, early round, he was often able, or even mid rounds, able to basically force a plan B action, kind of mid round calling from the opposition. So that seemed to be quite important, K's being on point.
I'd like to see him maintain that, though, because he started that half out really good with that op and the aggression, finding them some early picks, whether it was in halls, down mid towards pit, towards that small pit. But he really went away from it at a certain point in the middle stages of the half. And I think if he keeps that up, I mean, it doesn't always have to be mid, but if you keep being mobile, one thing we didn't see out of him was switching over towards the B-bomb side to op out a car, get a pick that way. Well, I mean, if you keep switching your position, then you really throw the terrace side on Inferno into a really tough spot, because they have no idea how to counter you, because they have no clue where you're going to be. There's like four or five spots that you could be.
So perhaps we've upgraded from Case now to Savage, and are we going to get more problems here in that AWP?
I would assume
the Chiefs.
I would assume that Savage kind of takes it on his own to roam around and see where it's fit to actually play aggressively. Yeah. He has the experience to do that. And one of the things that Blaya told us about MVP is that A-Man, who's the in-game leader for that team, he does get kind of static in his calls, and I would assume that doesn't only account for his T sides, but also CT sides and what kind of types of setups you do and whatnot. So that's probably why you saw Case more or less being stuck to mid with that op. And I mean, to be fair, it worked out pretty well, but as Moses said, they kind of went away from it instead of trying to get him out in banana and actually open things up and get them a favorable start that way.
I actually think that CyberZen are going to have a pretty easy time of this one actually. I'm getting that kind of feeling.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think they'll have an easy time, but I would predict them to win. I'm actually going to take them to win this match.
So you just hyped up Chiefs for no reason?
I didn't hype up Chiefs.
No, you were like, oh, CyberZen, they played the worst team, and
I just thought they looked
and
really.
Chiefs looked like the better
really
team in
sketchy.
the first game.
Yeah, I'm still going to give it to CyberZen.
Yeah.
I think
By a
it's
lot?
a big mistake that Chiefs are actually playing Inferno twice now. I think there's a lot of things that can be gleaned from CyberZen about what just occurred in that last match. And the other thing, while I just said that Chiefs had there was some impressive in-game calling, some complexity and strategies for a team that has a couple stand-ins. With stand-ins, there's not a lot you can really adjust. I mean, they have their strategies that they're going to use, and how do you adjust that? Because all of a sudden you start saying, we haven't really practiced this, but let's do it. And that's when things start to get a little bit puggy, a little bit too freewheeling. So if CyberZen starts to punish the things that we saw Chiefs do, I can't imagine Chiefs having a very strong plan to fall back on.
Yeah, no, that definitely
Is there a plan?
I don't think there's a backup plan. No.
Is there a plan? Let's be honest, guys. Is there a plan?
I think they have a base plan going into this. It's
Okay.
like, we're gonna set up in a default, guys.
Yeah, I like that. Like, let's go for the default. And everyone's like, oh, everyone has a different idea. What
They're probably just going to do the same exact thing that they were just doing and see if it
Yeah.
keeps working.
Yeah.
See if they can have success with it, and that'll dictate where they go from there. Also, you got to remember on the T side, they didn't always do something so complex. They punished 2 or 3 rounds at that B bomb site by just straight up B rushes. So if CyberZen going to fall to that? I don't think CyberZen's going to fall to just flat out B rush.
No, me neither. Especially given how shaky MVP's speed defense looked a lot of the time. I don't think we're going to see that from the Chinese players at all.
I think they had some. I think I recall some good anti-ecos as well. Some decent understanding there from thinking back to their games against FaZe. As in Star Series as well. So they do seem pretty complete. I guess it's just going to come down to a lot of experience as well. I mean, that's going to be a bit. That's always. I mean, this tournament is going to be full of this. This is going to be a trend, a theme running through this entire tournament over the 4 days of matches that we have. Just experience and who can cope with it. Because this has actually been a very interesting thing. Historically, some players, will go to a completely new environment, their first international event, and they can just almost be like a prodigy kind of level. Just they play their best game, they overperform. But for most people, it takes time, adjustment, and
I feel like
practice.
you're speaking from personal experience here, Dan. Let's
Yeah,
hear about your first
I'm not
international event.
the. Yeah, we're going to
Let's
go.
get back to that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, can it be you first? Can you go first, Moses? Your first international experience, was it good or bad, LAN-wise?
Good. It was a CPL in Dallas.
And why is
kinda-
CPL as
It was
well?
actually pretty heartbreaking because there was a team from Iceland there,
Yeah.
and they had
Seven?
saved up for, it was Merck. They had saved up
Oh.
for like a year and a half because no one had sponsors back then.
They saved up for a year.
They saved up for a year and a half
Oh,
to get
dear.
tickets and hotel to the tournament. And the way that CPL used to run at that time was the opening round was single elimination.
Yeah, yeah.
And we beat them in the first match. They got eliminated. So saved up for a year and a half to have one match and got sent home.
You must have
of
felt
you.
bad about that. Did you sleep that night?
Yeah, like a baby.
You're just a stone
Ruthless.
cold. Ruthless. This is what I'm saying. The only time that you haven't been this stone cold, and to be fair, you do get roasted on most desks. Ever since the Creamy Moses thing, you just get hammered. From NA, you're just the easy target, right? Just low hanging
Is that
fruit.
what I am, Dan?
Yeah, you're the
Is
easy
that all I am to
target.
you? Easy target?
Yeah, but in Taipei, man, things are brightening up for you. I mean,
Yeah,
you're having a good
future
time.
is looking good here in Taipei.
The future's looking good. Moses is already looking up his plans to move here. Have you spotted any good accommodation, any good spots in Taipei that you're liking the look of?
No, but we're going to explore this week. We're going to go to some night markets, see what we got around here. I hear there's some fantastic food. The cuisine has been great, we mentioned.
All right, well, we do have a knife round on our hands, it would seem. The carnage, the slaughter.
This is actually pretty important. I think Chiefs need to get CT side first, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
I agree with you completely. So, fast predictions, guys.
Oh, God, they just turned it around. I'm going to take CyberZen.
Okay, CyberZen for Moses. Halvor.
Yeah, I'm CyberZen as well.
CyberZen?
Yeah, pretty convincingly as well.
I think it'll be a pretty good match. I think they'll get over 10.
I think they're gonna stop at 9 or 10.
Okay.
I'm with Halvor on this one.
Oh.
I'm looking at a convincing win for CyberZen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we are ready for the commentators. We have Anders and Semler.
Thank you very much, Dan, and the rest of the panel there as well. So we're getting into it. It's Inferno this time around. Panel appears to be favoring CyberZen. What are you, Semler?
CyberZen all the way, bro.
Oh, yeah?
I know.
All right.
I know. I was chilling out with the Aussies watching some of the Inferno match before this. Chiefs, they're looking a little shaky to me.
That was pretty sketchy, wasn't it?
They're looking a little nervous. This is their first international showing after all, or rather, you know, like regional showing. Big stage match, though. This is Chiefs, and it doesn't seem like right now that they are like totally settled yet. They're still dealing with some nerves. So that Inferno game could have gone a lot easier for them if they'd have tightened up, you know, and just, you know, focused. And we're not really seeing that right now. Whereas CyberZen, they kind of just like messed around and YOLO'd in their first game, and the only reason it ended up with like 16-10 is because they basically threw away 8 rounds. So I mean, yeah, I think CyberZen are pretty heavily favored. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of the rounds that Chiefs got on the T side against a team like CyberZen, it won't quite be possible. Like, especially that B defense that was put up by MVP, I think was a bit questionable. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing this particular matchup here. Obviously, best of 1 format here. And if you are just joining us, then we are in the 3rd match now for Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. We've got another 2 coming up after this one, I believe. 5 total for the day.
Yes, sir.
So it should be good fun. Already we see Soaking here with the armor and Tech 9, just like it was on Cobblestone. Burn, trying to control top Banana. There's a lot of targets out there. Good smoke from a teammate to help him get out. That could have been really dangerous.
Yeah, but they used that smoke so early now. All they have to do is CyberZen, they play it well. They don't actually try and run behind, force anything. Well, as I say that, oh no, it actually looks like it was Lightstep who decided to step forward and take a shot there. So TB is down, but CyberZen, they did play that correctly in the sense because Chiefs just use their smoke. So all they have to do is wait, smoke clears, and then they have an easy way to go onto the B site.
See if that's what we're going to try and do. Dexter showing up and taking down Yuki. So now playing a 5 versus 3. They've got the time for it, but they realize they've got to speed it up here. They use the 1 smoke they have to block off CT spawn. Lightstep goes down. They need another kill, and they need it quick. And there it comes. Burn going to be dropped by Advent. So now we're in a 3-on-3. The bomb about to go down, and there is no kit currently picked up on anyone on Chief. So I'm wondering if that's down somewhere else in the bomb site. Maybe, but either way, they need to spend some time picking that up.
Yeah. They have a lifetime for the defuse regardless. They're on top of the site as the bomb gets planted. So nice shot there by Zeusy, managing to find Savage. And now it's going to come down to 2 remaining players here. So he's got that Tech 9 raid boss build, but he gets caught out, and it's going to be down to Advent now. 1v1, running down the clock, just going for shoulder peeks. This is correct. This is how he's got to play it. Zeusy can't seem to hit a shot, and this is it pretty much done. Advent not going to leave him with enough time to get the defuse. And they're just barely going to pull this off, CyberZen. The frustration is going to be so clear.
That kit was right there all along.
Zeusy.
If he just ran to pick it up, he would have had time.
He would have had time if he had actually realized where that kit was picked.
And I think, I mean, this is where you wish you could go back and hear the team recording, because probably his whole team is shouting. I'm not going to try and do an Australian accent, but probably all of them are shouting, you know, it's right there, it's right there. So, like, he was obviously trying.
And then it's like, it's right where? Where?
Yeah. There, in the back. I'm pointing on my screen.
Oh, yeah, I know, man. Well, whoa. Triple Mac 10, double, and then an MP7 and a UMP. 5 SMGs for CyberZen. They like to play with fire, Anders. They like to take risks.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, Chiefs actually did get an unusual amount of Molotov kills when they were playing on this map just now, so, I don't know. Got to be careful with that fire. Suzy opening up with a shot on Yuki, and that's going to be a really good start here. UMP of all guns, and I don't know, like, we don't like it when people buy 3 SMGs. Now they've got 5. I feel like it's too much, you know.
Well, this is perfect as far as the execute is concerned. Flash is going to come out, though. This is going to probably wreck things. Yep, there. Easy shot for Lightstep to hit. Lines it up, and with the other SMGs, just going to go jumping onto the site. There's the UMP coming into play. Follow-up is going to be done by TB with the MP7. But they're just taking damage all over the place right now. 2 players left here for Chiefs, both of them very low. So this is a winnable situation for TB considering he has 50 seconds left.
Look at what Suzy is doing as well. This could be so weird, because if TB is going to exit Banana right now, then it will be like some sort of like double, triple, quadruple might game going on. Right now, Suzy's thinking, let's group up so that we can retake the B bomb site really well. And TB's thinking, I have no idea what he's thinking right now.
It's just like, pointy letters are nice.
He must be so confused about the fact that he hasn't run into Suzy yet. Because I guess if he took that fight on Banana and just won it, then it'd be so much easier. And now, I don't know, like, TB could definitely win this. He might even be favored to win this.
I'd say so, yeah. With the MP7, it's not a bad gun to have. He's got 2 flash nades to buy even more time if he wants. Rotation is coming in here, but
still no kit.
They are far behind on this. Yeah, Chiefs, they're going to have to cover a lot of ground. And well, this is going to come down to timing. He spots the first man going onto the site. This is actually going to make it a little bit more difficult. Although they line up for him. So now Dexter is going to have to try and step forward and take this fight, looking for the headshot. Will not find it in the end. Instead gets obliterated.
Quad kill from TB and a round for CyberZen that turned out fairly expensive. And if you look at like the investment, I mean, now if there's any like sense in this, yeah, they should be buying SMGs again. Because otherwise they really won't have accomplished much, and at least they're going to do that. That makes sense to me. They know there's going to be unarmored this time around, but that was very dangerous. I mean, Susi almost won them that round with just the UMP.
UMP, yeah. And Zusi was one of the guys who really stepped up for Chiefs in the first game.
Yeah.
He was the one who was in double digits early with the frags. He got a quad kill in one round, like the pistol round, actually, on CT side. Like, he did a lot of work for Chiefs, so good to see that he's maintaining that level. I mean, that is one thing where Chiefs, they've just come out of a really close game, whereas CyberZen, they didn't really have much of a close game, and they played the first game of the day, so they've also had a game, to cool off. It might take a little bit of time here for CyberZen to get their heads in it.
Great round, though. Yuki essentially clearing out apartments and Savage running into library, and that way they know that there's nobody else on A. So, the stack going on a B here. And if Savage or Yuki had gone down, it would have just been a Mach 10 that they had given up. So using the SMGs wisely, I think. And, I mean, they should probably even go and hunt with them now. Like, as soon as they realize there's not going to be, like, a retake attempt coming in here from Chiefs, just go for it.
It's time to get some value. Big spray. Whoa! All right, that one was sick. The second kill, that spray transfer. Just going hams, though. And then, well, yeah. Dexter not long for this world.
Could have knifed him.
Could have gone for the knife. Talk about messing with their heads. But then that might, these are Australians as well. That might have put them into, like, Godzilla mode or something, where just, like, Top Gun rips his desk in half and just throws it at them.
Yeah, Top Gun could, I reckon. It's going to say Godzilla. It's like a Japanese thing, isn't it?
True.
What's
an Aussie thing that's like...
I don't know.
Saltwater alligator? I don't know, like... Saltwater crocodile?
There are a lot of Australian monsters like that to pick.
Right?
We could go there somewhere. Savage pushed up quite close to the smoke. Are they going to try and make a breakthrough here? They could. Especially if they put in just a little bit of a good pop flash.
This definitely seems like CyberZen are going to be focusing on B site for now. They haven't invested anything over towards A. All 5 players gathered up here to get control of Banana. As the smoke clears, they step forward, and are they just going to feed Uki in first just to get some information and then make the play after that with the rifles?
Oh, TV setting up for a flashbang here. This is kind of interesting. Underhand throw, it seems there's a medium throw coming in. That actually pops pretty well. Lands on the roof and trying to see if they can make their way in. Soken going to go down. Burn coming up with 2 big kills. Advin with a refrag and gets another one. Finally, top one. Actually through the smoke taking down Advin, but still, this is winnable. It's a 2 versus 3. The bomb is about to go down, and they just used that last smoke.
And now, well, with the extra time on the clock, Chiefs should really be taking all of this round basically to just allow Zusi to push up Banana, clear that out, take the fight straight up, and that's Top Gun winning versus Savage. So now it's a 1-on-3 situation here. Uki's got a lot of work to do ahead of him here, and nobody's going to be coming through construction. Instead, they're all going to be pushing from behind. Not exactly lining up for him in the end. Somehow Top Gun lives with 8 HP.
Yes, and the fact that they had the smoke down towards construction meant that they could have probably afforded to both peek middle if they wanted to. But it seemed like they were, instead of playing a 2v3, they were playing like, 2 1v3s essentially. It's pretty hard to do.
That wasn't perfect. But CyberZen feeling the heat a little bit there, I think, is the main thing. What is this? Advent, did he miss by a UMP? Because he had the money for an AK, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe he's just feeling it.
Or at least a Galil.
You're the one who's always saying the UMP is a great weapon.
UMP is all right, man. I mean, it's good at tapping. It's good at spraying. It's not the fastest fire rate. It's nothing like the Mach 10, for example. MP7 is pretty much like the best SMG you can go for, though. It's like the best of all worlds. Apart from Armor 10.
Ooh. Good angle, then.
Burn feeling the heat there.
A little bit. All right, they got the apartments control. They're setting up in second mid as well. They keep running into smokes, but with the added round timer, that is not going to matter. They can just wait it out in here. A lot of Molotovs left on the Australian side. Soaking going to open up as well as TB Great start. Now there's only one person left, that's Susie, and he's been playing well, but this would be something of a miracle if he could make it. He does get 1 kill, jumping off the balcony, second headshot. Oh my god, Susie picking up 3 kills, 2 of them headshots, and somehow that brings Chiefs back into the game at a 2-on-2 with the bomb just down. That was one hell of a defense there, but sadly, Burn gonna go down. Savage picking up the kill, long range spray here. I don't think Savage needs to commit to this, just play it cool. Or hot with the Molotov if you prefer.
Yeah, he really stepped out there too. That was a bit of a risk. Lightstep could have picked him off, and that would have been it. He did get lucky just to getting out of there. Lightstep missing a bit of an opportunity. Well, Lightstep deciding to back off and save his gun, so that's pretty much that. I mean, this would have been a really clear cut. I mean, it was a really sick mid take already from CyberZen. Just flashes, clean as you like, kill the guy arch, kill the guy short, worked out perfectly for him. If it weren't for Zeusy, this would have been just, done and dusted. Easy round for CyberZen.
Damn.
It's just
Savage.
murdering those chickens.
Living up to the name.
Come on, Lightstep. You need to get revenge for the fallen poultry.
That actually resets pretty much all of the Chiefs team except for Susie. That was just one hell of a defense. A real shame that it was sort of almost too late at that point.
I mean, he's really the one who's going ham right now on Chiefs. Like, out of all the others who seem to be suffering from nerves, Zeusy just showed up right from the start in the first map, and he's showing us more of the same here in the second.
It's good to see that CyberZen aren't being affected by the fact that their first match was so much easier. You'd sort of worry if they came into this one thinking, it was so easy, let's just keep rolling, and then suddenly when they hit opposition, they can't handle it. They seem to have their minds in the right place anyway, so Susie actually pushing up. Is anyone going to flash him in? No, he's just going to go for the cold peek here, and it's almost the perfect timing for it. Sort of wish someone would have been there, like Top Gun, for instance, if he had a pop flash just to throw out there. That would have been interesting.
Instead, it's going to be the setup. They're going to be wrapping back towards B, it seems. And who's up close but Burn with the swag. Just wait, and Zeusy trades, so they do manage to lay a bit of a trap for him outside of second mid, but dude, this is going to get brutal here. Burn, he gets the timing right. There's the flash. Just to buy a little bit more time. He gets behind that truck, but he gets spotted.
Yeah, there's still so much time. That Molotov is a little bit annoying, but it's not going to be such a big deal. Dexter up here, perfect range for the 5-7, but he can't find the headshot. TB now confirming there is nobody at A, and the rest are already rotating in here. Good communication from CyberZen. Like, they seem to be much more fluid than they were earlier.
Yeah, they're working this out. I mean, it also comes down to just how comfortable they were on Cobblestone Crew, right? Because we know that when it comes to the more common maps, or at least to the old school maps, as far as like Inferno, like they have a nice cache as well, but they do seem to be just really comfortable on Inferno. This T side seems like they have good comms, and like they're willing to still, wait out that clock, use the time to their advantage. Instead of running into a dangerous situation on B, they just waited for their man to clear out A, and there you go. They have a free bomb site, and they rotate over.
Couple of people out hunting as well, looking for Lightstep and Burn. See if they could maybe steal some of those rifles away. They're in the right area. They could go for a fight here. And Burn is so low on health. I actually don't think he'll live with this max 7. Indeed, he won't. Lightstep in the corner.
Wow.
Oh. Well, I mean,
Worth.
Still worth it. Hashtag worth.
Worth. Savage shouldn't even easily be like, okay, bro, you got the kill. It's all right. Like, even though Savage got that kill, didn't he? Oh, well.
So 5-1, another economic reset here for the Australians as the CyberZen team just looking very good early on here on the terrorist side of Inferno and in the middle. I mean, they get the kill on Savage, but then Susie burns alive. And in the middle here, Savage will have seen them more people. They will definitely check every corner. Yeah, solid play.
And it's Soaking who's just waiting at top banana. He takes the fight there with Burning. And now, well, instantly the rotation begins with the bomb. They know what's up. They're going to be able to back over here towards that B site, get that bomb planted for free, CyberZen. And now they've even spotted out where Lightstep is playing from, so he doesn't even live that long.
Now, did you say Burning? I think that was like a Dota 2.
It is. You're right, actually.
It's like slipping in there. So
Oops. Burning. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Burning is pretty sick, though.
I mean, talk about a sick name as well. Like Burn, because it's like Burn, are you okay? It's like, why do you ask if he's okay? Just burn him. Well, like burning? Dude, man's so hot, he's on fire? I mean, come on.
What is this smoke from TB coming out, I'm wondering? Lands...
Right up there, car, it looks like.
Yeah, it actually lands just far enough that you'd have a
You have
A
a gap
difficult
to
time
abuse.
holding behind the car, maybe. 6-1 the current scoreline, and again, Chiefs, they go for a buy, but it's much less than ideal. Very few grenades, max 7 here on light step. They need to pick up a round. They need to pick up all the rounds from here on out, basically.
Yeah.
Right now, they're getting smacked by CyberZen.
Wow, double mollies as well, just to clear out the space. And they catch out light step. And wow, look at this. Zoking's just going to go ahead and push right through. There is the pop flash, but it's traded effectively. And
Good
now
time.
it all just falls apart. I mean, it falls together here for CyberZen.
That was really good timing from Burn, actually. It looked like he was about to hit that dead on and actually kill both of them, but doesn't work out that way. And Advent was even ready for that, but look at it. Top Gun coming through, 2 big kills. And Yuki now, 1 versus 3 without the bomb and with only 42 health here. So somehow Chiefs have brought it back in a round that looked very bad for them.
Yeah, Advent, that looked like he had control of the situation. He knew that where Top Gun was coming from. That could have changed everything. If you kill off Top Gun, maybe then they're able to wrap it back around and take out Zusi. But the fact that Dexter, I mean, they just went charging through. What the hell was that? Top Gun with a double as well.
Looking for a shot. He really wants someone to be there, but I mean, they've got the perfect setup here. As soon as he walks in, he's going to get shot from every which angle. Triple kill for Top Gun. And Chiefs finally picking up around here, moving into the 9th, and there is a lot of money still on the CyberZen side, so they're just going to continue to roll here.
I mean, you were talking about them needing a round, doing something random like pushing through the smoke, all 3 at the same time together. That's one thing that's a little random, and it looks like it caught CyberZen off guard.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm not a big fan of that. I have no idea why they would do that. I think normally they would get punished quite badly for that one.
Yeah, it's just that kind of gamble where it's like the Hail Berry and it just barely works. Yeah, that's you see Burn, he's actually trying to figure out like where does this smoke end? How can I use this to my advantage? I mean, it's like this is a really interesting smoke just because it does kind of help Chiefs out. Because yeah, now he gets to throw down his smoke. Light Step is still there with the smoke of his own. So it's almost like CyberZen just give the CTs a free smoke at top banana.
Look at that though. They Molotov that corner and he walks into the smoke to try and not obviously burn alive, and they just pre-fire it and kill him. That's some really cheeky play coming out of CyberZen. They read Light Step so perfectly there.
Dude, the take here on banana is really nice.
Yeah.
Molotov behind the angle. Now they just have to worry about Car. They did get caught. That was Savage getting caught by Zusi at top mid. But they still have a man over in apartments. That's Yuki just kind of hanging out over there, waiting to see if he can't catch a rotator out. So we'll see if he's successful here versus Dexter, who's actually playing Arch. So imagine that's the guy who's going to eventually have to deal with him.
Decent enough grenade. Combined 40-some damage. It's not too bad. Top Gun setting up for an underhand flash coming through. 28 seconds, so they kind of have to go for it. Can still run back to B, but that would be such a big risk there. Burn doing a good job already, picking off 1. Can't get the second one, and
wow.
Top Gun goes down. 16 seconds, and somehow it swings back in favor of the terrorist side here. Susie and Dexter, they'd have to come up big for this one.
Dude, they just step in together. Each one has a target. They both get headshots. That was so sick for CyberZen, and now Yuki, he sees the man coming in banana. He's actually able to get out of there as well. This is so sick. Now he can wrap back onto the site. All 3 of them collapsed in here. Now they've spotted out Dexter and CT as well here for CyberZen, and they have all the information at this point. They know a man's going to be moving up from banana. Second one pushing in through CT, and this incendiary just not effective at forcing him out into the open.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Yuki.
If that had landed in the corner, he would have been dead, and it could have been a 2v1. Very, very interesting. I do want to credit Yuki, though, for not taking that fight when he could over at Banana, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of players would have done that. It's very, very tempting, because if you win that fight, the round is won instantly, right?
And instead, what does he do? He ends up actually making a play that just locks down the round for his team.
Yeah.
Falls back to the site. That was really well done.
Like, staying alive like in a 2v3 like that is so valuable, so pretty good play on his part, I think. 7-2, current top fraggers are TB with 12 kills and Susie on the other team with 11.
Yeah, dude, Zusi. I mean, trailing behind, and the guy's got the second highest number of frags on the map. Yeah, okay, and they're going for this again here, Chief. So it's the quasi-buy, but then they did the same thing in their first map where they just bought a bunch of HEs, bunch of smokes. They're still going to try and play the clock, buy some time here, but they have the HEs for a bit of a surprise. Bullets will work just fine as well. Top Gun. Nicely done there, taking out Savage. But that's just a MAC 10 that's been lost for CyberZen, so they were kind of counting on him being bait.
Oh, but this is now a problem. Susie, sadly they don't have any armor on Chief's side, but still playing with a 2-man lead going into the 10th round here. This is definitely looking decent right now for Chiefs. It's hard to get too excited though because they're so far behind, and CyberZen really seem to be in control of this game right now. I think they need a really big momentum change. Sushi's been playing well, but they need Top Gun and the rest to wake up.
Well, Zusi's right now in a pretty damn good spot to catch them out of apartments here, and if they come up short as well, Arch side is down. Now they have to figure out that Zusi's holding on balcony. They saw this earlier if they were watching the game. They know that Zusi tends to favor balcony, and unfortunately just walks right into TB's waiting arms. That couldn't have been more perfect for CyberZen. So being patient, they just waited out. 30 seconds left, and the bomb gets planted, and it works out perfectly for him here in this anti-eco.
It's got to be a bit disappointing. You could tell what they wanted to do as well, like put a rifle in one bomb site and then 3 pistols in the other, and hope that either way it kind of works out, and it obviously doesn't here. Soaking ready. Getting a couple of kills in. Adamant getting caught though. Top Gun not even willing to play that game. Just charges him with the pistol out.
That's 2 kills for Top Gun. It's crazy. It's Top Gun, man. Apparently, like, he hasn't touched CS in like a year, and because he used to play for Vox Seminor, and then he got replaced due to basically just, you know, he had to retire, focus on having a job, basically.
I think last time I saw Top Gun was at the Katowice qualifiers at the after party. And he was in very bad shape. I've never seen anything so insane. I think he was doing, they were having, him and someone else having like competition to who could do the most shots.
Oh no.
And generally that tends to end up bad.
That never ends well.
Yeah, drink responsibly, kids. It's 8-2 and the 11th rounder is coming up here. And again, Chiefs, just how many rounds in this first half so far have they had any kind of an economy going, I'm wondering. Seems to be like they're just alternating between having pretty bad rifle buys to having no buys at all, and Yuki just taking full advantage. Susie, Dexter, both flashed as they got killed. And Top Gun inside the site here, picking up an AK from the last round. Doing great damage. Look at Top Gun here. I mean, this is what they need, and they need a lot of it.
I think we just got to keep going ham. Oh, nice shot by TV, though. That was perfect. And then Savage waiting all the way back in T-spawn with the AWP. Perfectly happy to just catch out that rotator.
All right. I mean, I think I was on the CyberZen train already, but like they're showing us, and I think what's interesting about this is that we're seeing TB come into play here. Really big, 15 kills on him. Tactical timeout is what we're looking at for Chiefs.
Yeah, and I mean, is it too late? Is it too? I mean, really, like, at any point in time right now, it's good to throw down the tactical pause or just try and do anything. At least they waited until they actually have a buy on the table, so they eat the rounds of eco, and now they're like, okay, what do we need to change up here? What do we need to do to actually become effective on our CT side? Because we're just getting rolled by CyberZen at this point. CyberZen, man, they're really showing up. Cobblestone was the same sort of story versus Risky. Like, they just mauled Risky on their T side. They're getting these T side starts, CyberZen, and it's just working perfectly for them because they control the pace. They're clearly comfortable with their executes and their play so far, taking control of the map at all points.
Yeah, especially Top Banana. They seem to win that fight almost every time. Maybe the thing to do if you're a Chiefs then is to say, all right, let's just give them Top Banana. Wait until, like, you roughly know the timing now when they throw down those Molotovs. After the Molotovs are gone, they go and check it out, right?
Yeah.
So as the Molotovs burn out, have a guy waiting on the corner, plot flash that guy in, kill someone. Like, just go for something simple like that. Because they keep wanting to fight Top Banana, and it's clearly a little bit tricky. Either that, or put 3 people there. Try and see if you can't win the fight with 3 people and push it, you know?
Yeah, go for the straight up. Well, Top Gun dying isn't part of the plan, that's for sure. But I know what you're saying. You know,
It'll be the weirdest plan ever.
now they have to challenge Top Banana. It looks like Burn is going to get him to position to at least have eyes down Banana from Cars. I mean, he has some info there. Yeah, the rest of his team are flipping out right now. And we might actually have an A execute coming out here from CyberZen, full smoke and everything. Molly's, well, I mean, basically, there's the flash of top mid, the peek behind it. Savage is waiting for burn as well. So really just nothing is working here for Chiefs.
And Savage, look at this. This is also like a guy with a lot of experience, obviously, but really trying to sell this one. He realizes now Lightstep is inside the bomb side, but that smoke he puts up is obviously him pretending that they're going to go straight for the B push. And at least it keeps one person there. Susie goes down, and now Dexter alone against 5 people, and he does try and get that spray through, and it's just not happening.
A perfect execute. Yugi being so thorough as to chuck a Molotov behind car, like the one spot. All right, well, I checked out back pit. Now let's just make sure that nobody else is lurking around there. And, well, Lightstep is going to be in for a bit of a sad time. He might win the first duel, but he can't get the spray transfer onto Yuki. And Yuki just going ham this round. 2 kills for him. And just making it work. 11 kills now total for him. Like, dude,
yeah.
CyberZen right now on T side, they're just looking like nobody else is coming close to these guys. They've had 2 very solid matches so far. Well, the one that they completed versus Risky, 16-10 on Cobblestone, and now
I feel like that wasn't even like
Inferno.
a real game. That first game was just weird as hell, but...
They just messed around most of the time, didn't they?
Oh, a lot of grenades. Carpet bombing going in. Top Gun to open up with a kill, trying to get that rifle home. Can he pick it up? Soken finally picking up one, and TB still there. They do not have the bomb, though, but they're doing massive damage, trying to get back into this round, and TB can pick that bomb up right there.
Let's say Molotov just to clear the angle, and they're going to be able to sneak their way up onto the B site. Problem is that Dexter's already rotated over from CT. Smoke is going to go down to block him off, though, so we'll see if he gets lucky. And Top Gun looking for the backstab. He's going to get spotted. Perfect timing, and now they can actually just work their way back towards A if they want to. CyberZen, they're on point right now.
Yeah, some good calling. I mean, when you take 3 grenades like that down the middle, there is, I think, a tendency for just a little bit of chaos to erupt in the team, and that's when you sort of lose control of your troops. You're the in-game leader, right? But it seemed like they had just like a couple of seconds to reset, and obviously pretty good job here, a pretty good job from TB and Soken, and it looks like they should be winning this round. Dexter trying his best, and certainly with a headshot, he'd get a kill, but it's so hard. TB not even going to wait for him. Walks in, gets the triple, and a huge turnaround just in this one round here. 18 kills on TB.
Yeah, dude, he's just like come alive, no doubt about it. 4 of his teammates into double digits. Savage taking his time, 639, playing patient. But they've got all the money. Look at that, 14,000 on TB. Like, they're not worried about a thing right now, CyberZen. They are just stomping their way through this group to the semifinal. So that's what's at stake here. First seed. This is the winner match of the group.
Yeah.
And so you will go into the semifinals with first seed if you manage to pull this off.
Ooh. Bit of an opportunity, but either way, even if they get the next 2 rounds, Chiefs, I'm not sure it's going to be anywhere near enough here. 11-14, the best that they could do right now.
Yeah, it is a lot to ask. We did see, it was in the first match of the day when we saw CyberZen struggle a little bit on their CT side. I think that had more to do with them just, assuming that the map was over. I think they managed to get like 12-3 at the end of the first half.
And it was Cobblestone, man. Don't get me started.
Yeah. So, I mean...
I get triggered really easily nowadays.
No, so do I, dude. I mean, we'll never speak of Luminosity and Audi again.
Not that either. Well, Savage taking a bit of a hit then. I think there must have been Lightstep with the AWP. And they smoke him out. Casually and safely just walk in here to Archway. Flashbang comes through and Top Gun a bit out of position. Susie gonna get the 1 kill. Good job on Top Gun there. Soken, he can't see a thing. He ends up dropping. Finally, Top Gun to go down. Now it's Yuki and Advent. They need to check this corner, and they will, but maybe not in time. It should be Chiefs round to win.
Oh, it has to be. 20 seconds left, though. Hopefully somebody's telling Yuki that. Because he's looking to take the fight. He might catch the man on Arch looking the wrong way. That's going to be down to Burn. And there's the step. Just managed to back off, though. Burn at Arch playing it safe, did not peek him, and now with 9 seconds left, he's going to get that plant. He has to commit to it, and well, they're going to play this together, Chiefs. They're going to stack up together and actually just try and push on here, but there is a danger of them lining up. They do have to be careful about this. Turns away from the flash. Yuki is ready. There's the first one. Could get the second as well. He knows that the man is there. He spots him out, gets that info. Oh my gosh. And he just barely runs out of bullets.
That was so scary. That looked like that was going to go horribly wrong. But some heads up play from Yuki, though. I mean, with like 15 seconds, he's not wrong to try and go for the fight and make it a 1v1. Because technically speaking, if you plant in a 1v2, you should lose it almost every time. So, especially if you plant in that corner and you get trapped in there. But that was very, very scary.
Man, if he could have just... That spray.
I believe for a moment that he would.
I believed for a second there as well that he was going to get like just 1-2 bullets in there and that it would have actually worked. Oh, get a little bit of punish there onto Dexter. He gets a nade out into second mid. It hits nobody. So, and then Lightstep actually taking some shrapnel as well. I think that was over in, that was over in Banana. So we'll see. We have to see now if 15 rounds in, if Chiefs can actually get.
Can we just appreciate that goddamn flashbang that goes into the hallways? That is so cool, isn't it? The Molotov into bedroom we've all seen, but that one flashbang in there, that's what I love. Nice shot on Lightstep.
Yeah, Light is hurting right now.
If you're holding on the corner up there and that flashbang comes through, I mean, even worse, if you're running out of bedroom at that point, you're running away from the fire, you just run right into it. Good stuff.
No, they know how to use their nade, Cyber. That's for sure. Wow, Lightstep just doesn't die. He's up to 14 now. All right, Top Gun will win a duel, and he gets the headshot as well onto Yuki, but Yuki is able to follow it up, at least trade 1-for-1 over on the A side. And then put the push for B.
Yeah, and they got to stay alive in this corner here. If Burn goes down, and he will be dropped. Lightstep solo already, and what a great entry here. Dexter in a 1 versus 4, and I don't know, like, there's nothing that you could do at this point in time. CyberZen, really, really impressive style that they're showing us right now.
And to say that, you know, CyberZen aren't even supposed to be the top, that Tyloo's supposed to be a better team than them?
Yeah, I think there's some debate about that right now.
Discussion, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not sure everyone agrees with that. I feel like people are saying a little bit that actually when the pressure is on, CyberZen might be able to perform a little bit better. So,
well, I mean, we saw them really press G2 at the time, FaZe now over in Minsk. And yeah, like they were taking it to a top European team. Yeah. So right now, I'm really glad to see that it wasn't a fluke, that when we come back to their home turf, right, they're still able to just perform at a high level, because it just doesn't really seem like anybody's able to stand up to them right now. Chiefs don't have an answer. I mean, we'll see now on T-side. T-side is supposed to be pretty solid here for Chiefs.
Top Gun and Susie doing all that they can. Dexter, Lightstep, and Burn are a little bit different right now. And on the other team, TV's dropping 21 kills in 15 rounds. We're going to the second half here. The third game of the day at Intel Extreme Masters. And Yuki getting overrun, but he still lands a headshot. Backup is being called. No, backup is just waiting. Advent is saying, you're on your own. I'm not going to even try and help out with this. He's got the dualies, though, in the smoke now, trying to escape the chaos that is Chiefs running into the B-bomb side. Advent somehow playing the edge of the smoke, and he gets a shot on Lightstep, and now the rest of the CT team is here. TB looking for the clicks, but he can't make it through. Soaking as well, trying to see if he can make it happen. Still got 14 bullets left, and trapped in that corner is Top Gun. Where's that bomb plant? It's not coming. Burn, he goes down in the corner, and CyberZen turn it around. What a ridiculous pistol round. I thought for sure someone would be there to help Yuki, but they were just like, nope.
You're on your own, bro. He got a flash. He did get a flash. So that was the help that Advent was willing to give him. He got a flash, but that flash was like completely ineffective, and he was just like, well, I'm screwed. But going double dualies like this, dude, that's got to be a first, at least as far like in recent memory. I haven't seen everybody go for double dualies. Saw like Zeus goes for it on Cobble sometimes on CT side, but that's just like the one guy.
Oh, that grenade! If they had run the other way, that would have been beautiful.
Oh, they've got the incendiaries as well. It's really going to get toasty. They spot the man on short, and, well, Dexter does not live for long. Big MP7 spray, or MP9 spray. MP9.
I mean, the way the CyberZen game is working out right now, my only concern is because it looks so well orchestrated, right? Like they've got the early grenades out, they got the Molotovs, they got like cool flashbangs, and like all these things. I just wonder if can they, like now they're playing at their own pace, which means it's working really well, and I don't know if Chiefs have like enough momentum and enough like energy left to try and change the pace, but I'm wondering what would happen if they played a team like Envy or something like that, that are just like so much faster, you know? Like does the pattern still hold, or can they adjust the pattern, can they stretch the pattern far enough to fit a team like Envy? Because if they can, then like a lot of this stuff is actually super valuable, you know? If you can do like damage with grenades early on without even seeing anyone. You just know like all the good corners to pop like a good grenade. If you like even like 20-30 damage to everyone on the T side early on before you even see anyone, that's a good investment, you know.
Sick. Yeah, it is, exactly. Because then if you've got that M4, you're really just looking to do like 20 damage, because then you get a headshot, that's it, it's done.
Yeah.
You get headshot kills and it's perfect. I mean, right now at CyberZen, they just look so comfortable. Although they are taking a bit of a risk. Uki is taking a bit of a risk in this round. Going for the Bison, UMP being held onto by Advent as well. Advent, I think, could have just got the FAMAS though, but Uki had the money for an M4, so he's playing with fire, not upgrading. Chiefs, though, they're like, it's not going to be pretty when they decide to go for the push, because they literally have no utility. They just have AKs, Anders, just AKs.
Yeah, and I don't know, from my point of view, that's some true madness. And it's getting even worse now, because actually it's 3 people right now on the B-bomb side, and there's a flank coming in right now. Chiefs, they need to hit the first headshot right here. They get to take Savage down without him taking anyone with him, and it's not even happening. Burn gonna go down. Savage with a repeat. Dexter gone, and well, it's all falling apart right now. Lightstep, the last one left, and this was a horrendous round. This was only ever gonna work out if they essentially traded 2 for nothing in the B-bomb side and kept going.
Yeah.
Because any slowdown and they were getting shot in the back as well.
They could have pressed into CT. They could have tried to put any kind of pressure on there. You got Top Gun in the foreground there, but I mean, even with Top Gun, I mean, he's probably looking at his teammates going like, team, come on, team. It's time to wake up. When you've got 4 kills, Burn. Especially Burn, who woke up a bit in the match we just watched versus MVP.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a little shocking to see them drop off so heavily. And there are the nades, dude. Nades into Banana, and it's a brutal slaughter. And then the spray comes in with the M4A4 as well.
Well, they at least trade Yuki there, so a little bit going in their favor. Advent hiding in the corner. I think he's realizing as well. He tries to get that spray, and he will succeed. Oh, Top Gun and Dexter not able to coordinate the timing quite well enough. Bomber's going down, but this is definitely the end. CyberZen running right over Chiefs. I don't see any way that Bird and Susie can come out of this one. They've got the deagle, but still so much time left for CyberZen, and they've got all the health and all the grenades here. It's just not going to happen. I can't believe they're playing so well. I mean, this is just a stomping, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's about as clean as it gets, barring a 16-0, obviously. 16-3. A near perfect T-side half, just running right through. They all look like, yeah, well, you know, we played our 2 games. I guess we'll get a match in the semis, right, guys? You know, like, is that when we start to play CS?
Yeah, this is very impressive and very refreshing. We saw a lot of cool things. I'm hoping they picked up on it on the desk as well, because we do have them ready. Dan, take us away.
Every now and again.
All right. Well, it does look like the Chiefs, they may have fluffed it, boys. It's been a bit of a... it's quite hard to watch that. They couldn't really get into the game as they had perhaps hoped to do so. We definitely predicted CyberZen coming out with a victory, not necessarily in this fashion, but you've got to wonder, how did the Chiefs let Inferno slip through in the map, in the veto process?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the possibility of that coming back to bite them, and it did in a big way. You saw early on, the big thing is they got put into an economic hole. They never really got their money straightened out for like the first 10 rounds of that. And CyberZen just had their number over towards B. They were punishing Lightstep and Burn every time they got aggressive. Same defense they played against MVP in the match previous, and CyberZen just destroyed it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, speaking on the economical topic, I think a lot of the holes that Chiefs got into were actually made by themselves as well. You can see that, and I think it was round 5 or round 6 actually, at the score of 1-4 in favor of
that force buy.
Yeah, exactly. They forced buy with 2 5.7s, mag 7, and 1 Colt in the FAMAS, which is obviously not the greatest thing idea. I do like the fact that they wanted to go aggressive, because obviously they're not going to have a lot of nades, so you need to be proactive about what you do. But they kind of did it half-heartedly. You could see, I think it was Susie who actually pushed aggressively in abs, and instead of committing to the actual peak and trying to go for the duel with Uki to get an early interfrag and then potentially falling back to just play a standard setup, they just did a really quick peek, backed off, and didn't get anything out of it. So, no, CyberZen on their end, they just played a really solid game, didn't rush into anything at all, and they actually commit. Once they actually get an opening, they commit, and we saw that several times on that B-bomb side. As soon as Lightstep got caught out, they just went for it.
Yeah, once they saw an opportunity to go in, they went in hard.
Yeah,
just like Dan.
Absolutely, yeah. And light step with a Mag 7.
That's the
Yeah.
other thing. At the P-Bomb state, they had a Mag 7 for like
Yep.
8 rounds of the half. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but I mean, it was just frequently Mag 7 there, and it was a Mag 7 that got picked off. So light step, and it is almost like it was just a snowball effect, where eventually when they were down like 6-1, it's like, okay, someone has to make a play. And that's the thing. They're a very new team together. We talked about that plenty with 2 new players coming in, but they didn't have the poise to kind of stick it out, just get their economy strong, make the plays as a team. Instead, they went individual, and CyberZen just feasted on that all half.
Yeah, that's somewhat the caveat there with the Chiefs. It's of course not a lineup that they're used to playing with, so it's kind of expected to an extent. CyberZen doing what we knew they could do, but of course, guys, it's time for a break. But first, I must remind you to check out plays.tv, where you can make all your own highlights of all the action here from the Intel Extreme Masters live from Taipei, all the Asian action. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to some more Savage op shops. The guy is pretty ridiculous, so we'll get to see more of him in the tournament. But that's going to be it for now. Of course, we have the losers match coming up next, so stay tuned. We'll be back soon.
The losers match, huh?